Hi guys, this is the Zeapon motorized Micro 2 Plus slider, and do I love it? Yes I do, very much. So first up, the disclaimer, Zeapon was kind enough to send over the Micro 2 Plus slider for review for you guys, and I actually asked a question in my community tab, what do you guys think about me reviewing a slider? And some people actually asked the question, well, what is the point of a slider anyway? Isn't it just to showcase products like people do on YouTube, like this for instance? Fantastic. I feel like I phondo. And yes, a product showcase for things like YouTube. If you're doing what I'm doing, a slider is very, very helpful. But to me, the reason I was actually looking at it was for documentary work and narrative work as well, because now I can have a no-man powered dolly that can just zoom if you face it front ways, or just like this, going side to side. It creates a little more dynamic movement. Just, you'd be surprised, a slow just dolly into your face while you're speaking can very much intensify what you're saying, or some movement in the shot just creates some more interest for the audience, so they don't, flip through Instagram or TikTok or whatever, whichever one has the most booty popping. They'll be scrolling, but not if you have some dynamic movement like this, for instance. So when is an appropriate time to slap a comedian? The answer depends on the comedian, of course, but really, I don't have anything interesting to say about this topic at all. I can only hope that somehow the producer makes the shot so dynamic that it makes it look like what I'm saying is important. I don't know, maybe if they did one of those pan reveal shots, where it starts with an object sort of obscuring the way, that would make me seem more interesting. Ooh, what about black and white? Can we switch it to black and white? Riveting. And the best part is, with the motorized slider, I can just set it up myself and get those nice shots, because I don't have anybody helping me behind the camera. Nobody wants to hang out with me at all, and Zeapon has me covered. Now, you can actually buy this with the motor or without the motor, and I think with the motor it is $449, the entire package, which is quite reasonable for a slider, and you can get it without the motor for something like $249, but to me, that I would much prefer to have the motor, obviously, because, like I said, I don't need anyone, I don't need any friends, I don't need nothing from no one, man. So, if you're not like me, and you have friends, maybe you don't want the motor, but I think it's fantastic, and it is super easy to use, and I will show you that now. So it works on Sony NPF batteries, which are quite affordable. A lot of people have them anyway. This 970 battery will get you like 12 or 13 hours of runtime, so you'll be covered there. You just press the button here, and you slide it in. It has a little locking mechanism, which is great. You just turn on the power here, hold it down for a second, the green light means it is on, and then it has 3 little blue lights. So 1 is the slowest speed, 2 is the second fastest, and 3. So I'll just turn it on 3 right now so that I can demonstrate how it works. Now, if you can use the app, which I think is quite easy and intuitive, but if you don't want to use the app, you can just use the buttons on top. So let's go. Let's set an A and B point. So now I'll double press the power button, makes a beep. Set my second point over here. Press the power button. There you go, and now it is ready to go. Double press again, and it'll just cycle through. Bob is your uncle. And then it just did it once. If you want it to loop, you just hold down the forward arrow and then press the power button, and now it's done. Now it will just loop back and forth between these two. It couldn't be more simple, but I will show you the app anyway, in case you do want it to be more simple. And we just go into my rail slider. I have it already connected, so I say done. And then here is the little thing right here. It is quite simple. It also has a pan and tilt ball head, which you can buy separately, and I think that's somewhere around the same price as the slider itself, actually, so it starts to make it a little more expensive, but the fact is that would be absolutely fantastic to have. You would be able to do time lapses, do the pan and tilt up when you're doing product showcase, do more dramatic movements. Anyway, but we don't have that, so we're not going to review it, but that is what that locked control is on that other side here. So anyway, I will just turn the speed up, and just so we can do this fast, and I will move it over here, set the waypoint at A, move it back this way, set the waypoint of B, and then we will just play. And there you go. That is it. We are done. And you can loop this as well if you want. It is just so easy, so intuitive to use. It's so smooth, it's small, it's lightweight. Let me give you the specs on the thing. So while the whole thing is 43 centimeters long, it actually travels longer than that because it can go further. It's extremely well designed. Go right to the end here, and if we go all the way back here, then it actually travels further than the length of the device itself. So you get about, what is it? It's 54 centimeters to be exact of travel distance, which is plenty, especially if you were doing close-up shots or you're having more subtle movements. The slider itself with the motor weighs 2 kilograms, but it can support up to 4.5 kilograms at all angles, and it can support up to 8 kilograms at its most stationary angle. Especially right if you put it on a table with these fantastic little feet that come out. That's another fantastic little thing that it has. You can just put it on a tabletop. I have this on a tripod, but the shots I did of the Sony camera earlier, that was just this laid on the table with the feet out, and you can adjust these little balls on the feet to make them a little bit higher or lower. And you can just fold these feet back in to make it more compact. Super great design. Desktop mode is what they actually call that flat, sturdy mode that can support up to 8 kilograms. Now, and it can go all kinds of different ways. I think I have some footage of the outdoors where I had the slider up like this, so you can pan up this way, or you can, put it down whichever way you want. And if you get that pan and tilt head, my goodness, the world is your oyster. Now, I will say this. See, I'm on a little tripod here, a little K&F concept tripod that just has a small little Arca Swiss plate. And I would say you do have to be careful about what tripod you put this on, because when the slider, especially you put something like a monitor on it, it starts to get a bit heavy, and when it gets out to its end here, sometimes you can tip it over if the tripod is not wide enough, or if the ball head is not super sturdy, then it can tip it down like this, and that is not good for anybody. So I would say make sure if you are going to use this on a tripod, get a nice sturdy tripod, and preferably one with a longer Arca Swiss plate and a nice, sturdy legs out. Don't put this on a little cheap tripod or something small and short, or the slider, when it gets to the ends, is going to, it's just going to tip it over. And that's just physics. That's not Zeapon's fault. You got to get yourself a decent tripod if you're going to be using a bunch of sliders going from one end to the other. Do you know what I'm saying? Oh, and another awesome benefit is, man, see, this is really quite light, is that it is toolless if you want to take off the motor and just put on the other belt to make it a manual slider. You just slide this little thumb screw and then attach it. It has little magnets that just attach the belt. Super easy, and you can go online and they have a tutorial about how to do that. Very simple. It only takes a few seconds, and but I'm not taking off my motor ever, because I love this motor and I want to keep it on. But I could change it if I wanted, but I don't. Oh, it also has a little USB port, and it comes with a USB-C cable so that you can update the firmware that way. But personally, I just update the firmware through the app. I find that to be much more convenient, so that is what I do. Oh, and I also should mention that I know I have the camera right there on the thread there, on the 1/4-inch thread on the rails, but normally I would use this ball head because then you can position the camera however you see fit. But I'm just doing this so it doesn't block too much of my gorgeous face. I need you guys to see me while I talk about things, because really, who's the real star of the show? Me. When it comes to the noise, Zeapon says it gets up to 39 decibels, but I will say that on speed 1, you can barely hear it at all. Speed 2, you can hear it, and speed 3, it becomes a little bit louder. So let me demonstrate. Speed 1. Speed 2. Speed 3. Now, personally, I'm mostly using this thing on speed 1, so the noise is definitely a non-issue for me. And even if you're using it on speed 3, as long as it's not right next to a shotgun mic, in fact, I should get this out of the shot, then you're gonna be just fine. So thanks so much to Zeapon for sending over my favorite slider to date. I think this is fantastic value for the money, and if you are in the market for a slider, I think you should take a really hard look at the Micro 2 Plus. I think it's great. Oh man, all the slow pans I'm going to be doing on my gorgeous face. I can't wait. Can't wait to use this every single day. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ask a question, leave a comment if you got one. We'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye-bye.